Rabbi Manis Friedman.
How is
Hello.
the sound? Sounds good?
Everything is terrific. Everything is great. Thank you so much. Thank God it's Tuesday. It's amazing that we have this opportunity to speak to you because we're overwhelmed with everything that is going on in the world. Obviously, every single person is. And the question that I would like to raise today, because I speak to a lot of people and it seems to be what is on everybody's mind, is why is the evil that we see is so overwhelming and incomprehensible? We can't grasp it with our minds. Yet the good, yeah, it's not as impressive as we would like it to be. So there seems to be a disbalance, almost as if the default state of the world is evil and the good is something that we have to work extremely, extremely hard to attain. Is that the right view, or is it something that we're just experiencing in this day and age?
It's all in the media. It's all in the media. It's the perception, not the reality. And of course, perception is very important. The PR battle is important. And the evil seems to keep winning that PR battle. Even while we're winning on every other front, the PR battle we have never won. Never. So here's really what it's down to. There are two ways that we can be victorious, and we will be. But there are two ways. One is we are victorious because we did the right thing. The other is we are victorious because God protects us when we make stupid mistakes. I was hoping that we are grown up enough to actually do the right thing and not need a miracle to pull us out. But I guess not. People have very strong opinions about current events, particularly the exchange for the release of the hostages. It was a terrible thing to do. We are now caught. We're trapped. Another day, and they're playing the game. And once we bit the bait, it's very hard to let go. So it was supposed to be a 4-day ceasefire. It's going to be another day and another day. And they're rearming themselves and they're reorganizing themselves. And then we're going to have to start all over again. It is such a moral disaster. Yeah, it's going to take a miracle to get us out.
Rabbi Friedman, in a case like this, how do we know if it's not supposed to be this way because God wants it to be this way, that this is our decision and we're maybe making the wrong decision? How do we ever know um, when we make a decision such as this one, if it's God's will or our mistake?
How do we know whether the morality that we're practicing is Jewish morality, which is what God wants, or human morality? Geneva Conference. I think the Geneva Conference is dictating all the behavior. And it's a terrible, terrible mistake. Because the whole conference, the whole idea, the whole plan is so childish and juvenile. Now, we're reading in the Torah about the rape of Dinah. What did her brothers do when Dinah was raped? They went in and wiped out every adult male. Even Yaakov was frightened. Now you're turning the whole world against us, and we're outnumbered and we're a minority. What happened? Nothing. Nobody came to avenge Shechem or Hamor. Nobody. The moral of the story is Torah does not approve of a Geneva Conference. And neither should we. It's probably not too late. It's so predictable that either today or tomorrow, they're going to complain that we are not keeping the ceasefire. Predictable. They do it all the time. Why can't we complain that they're not keeping the ceasefire and call it off?
Why?
Take back. Because we're afraid of our shadows. Take back control. See what you think of this. The first group of hostages that they released arrived in Israel Friday night. Wouldn't it have been magnificent if the Jews would have said, Israel would have said, you must return the hostages before sunset. It's Shabbos. They must be here before sunset. Otherwise, no deal. It would have been magnificent. It would have put us completely on the high road. We would have been in control, and we have been behaving in a holy fashion, which they admire and respect. We missed the opportunity. So yes, you're allowed to travel to save your life, and getting away from them is saving your life. So it's not a halachic issue. It's a matter of self-respect. It's a matter of pride. Why do you have to dance according to their drummer or fiddle? Let them dance to your fiddle. Yours is older, smarter, more moral, more godly. That would have been magnificent. The world would have been so impressed. When the Alter Rebbe was told, when the previous Rebbe was told that he is being released from imprisonment, he asked, where am I being taken? They said to Kostroma. He said, how long will it take to get there? They said, 2 days. That would mean we arrive on Shabbos. I'm not going. They said, you can't stay in prison once you've been released. He says, I'm not going. So they made an exception. And they let him stay. They respected it. They, the communists, we are in need of a very strong healing for our inferiority complex.
Rabbi
We call ourselves a sovereign state, but we can't act like one.
Rabbi Friedman, but what would it take? What would it take for this to happen?
Brain transplant?
The whole world? Or just certain part of it?
Just the leadership of Israel. I don't know what happens to people who have all the right ideas, all the right attitudes before they become prime minister. And then they become a minister, not even a prime minister. And all of a sudden, everything changes. We can't. We have to ask. What will the UN say? America, the president. All of a sudden, nothing is clear. The path is not clear. What we should do is not clear. We're bogged down by all sorts of. Yeah. We say there are 240 hostages. We're not sure exactly. The whole country is hostage. That's the power they have over us. They have the whole country as hostage.
Rabbi Friedman, actually, that is the premise of today's program, because when I was preparing for it, about as far as what evil is today, it seems like we're hostages of evil, all of us. It seems like evil is really a default state. It seems like every day is a struggle to be good, to be positive, to be optimistic. It's a struggle. It's not, we wake up upset, depressed, stressed out, and then it takes a whole day, or at least a couple of hours in the morning, to get yourself out of this funk. So it seems like we're prisoners of this evil. And my question is this like a recent occurrence, or is it something, or is this the way the world was created? And if yes, why?
This is the way the world was created, and we are sent into this world to fix it. But imagine a teacher walks into a classroom and he calls for help because none of the kids are sitting in their seat. So, well, get them to sit in their seat. It would be even more ridiculous. The teacher says, open up the books. And they open up the books, and he discovers that they can't read. So he calls the principal. He said, what is this? I'm supposed to teach them? They can't read. I said, well, you're supposed to teach them to read. Don't complain that they can't read. That's what a teacher is for. So we sit here and say, they're so immoral. They're so immoral. Okay. This is nothing new. Question is, can you teach? And no, you can't teach if you think you're one of the students. You can't teach without confidence. You immediately lose control of the class. Everybody knows that. We can teach, but we need the confidence. So that's why we've been talking about this for years. We are the teachers, they are the student. They know nothing. That's not scary. That's the job description. Your students are beginners. They have been taught nothing so far when it comes to morality. So, let's get started. But then you ask them what they think is moral, and you mess everybody up.
Rabbi Friedman, but we're not as versed as we need to be either. So how do we teach without really knowing? I mean, how many Jews out there are extremely oblivious to all our teachings, and not everybody wants to know. Not everybody wants to know. I mean, again, when I was preparing for this program, I actually listened to one of the podcasts by this Sadhguru, very famous in the, because I just wanted to see who says what about evil. And he said that the greatest evil in the world is ignorance. This guru has about 12 million followers on YouTube, very popular gentleman. And this is where we're at. And a lot of our people who are supposed to be the teachers of the world are ignorant to everything that we need to be doing. How do we fix this portion of our life?
If we could at least recognize that our ignorance is handicapping us, then we would find somebody who's not ignorant to be our spokesman. Like maybe Moshiach. But that is the issue. That is definitely the issue. When you hear it from a guru, it sounds like too mystical, too detached from reality. It is the reality, actually. The only question and the only issue is, are we the chosen people? Boil it down to that simple fact and everything makes sense. It's not a two-state solution that is the issue. That's not why they hate us, because they don't have a state. That's so ridiculous. The issue has been and will continue to be until we resolve it. Are the Jews the chosen people? Yes or no? If they're not, then we should be removed. That's how the anti-Semite thinks. If we are, then they got to back off. That's it. That's the whole issue. Do we know that we're the chosen people? Of course we know. We're scared of it. It's frightening to be the chosen people. But who doesn't know that we're the chosen people? Question is, can we defend that? All the bombs in the world will not help you defend against that. And if we can't answer that question, then we lost the battle, because that is the battle. Are we or are we not the chosen people? If we are the chosen people, then the chosen land, the Holy Land, belongs to us, no question, no doubts, no argument. If we're not the chosen people, then what are we? A democracy in the Middle East? It's a joke. If we're not the chosen people, then who are we? That's the world's question. Everything else is just a red herring.
Rabbi Friedman, what are we afraid of? What are we afraid of to be who we're supposed to be? Because obviously it all comes down, as far as I understand it, down to fear. Am I wrong about that?
I was talking to a seriously abused wife. Every time she came to visit the Chabad house, there was a new Band-Aid, a new bruise, and we kept telling her, leave him. One time she came with a cast on her arm. He broke her arm. I said, now will you leave him? She said, no, I deserved it, because I backed the car into the garage door. You deserve to have your arm broken? That's how desperate she was to justify his behavior so that she can stay married to him. So we said to her, you're here now, don't go back. That's it, finished. You don't have to do anything. Leave all your possessions with him. You're finished with him. Don't go back. Go to Israel or whatever. She says, oh no, then he'll be angry at me. So, then he'll be angry at you? And what is he now? See, that's the mentality of an abused wife. We are so afraid to tell them that we are chosen because then they're going to hate us. Then they're going to hate us. Till now, they've been really nice. But if we said we were the chosen people, then our whole relationship will deteriorate. Or in different ridiculous language, oh no, we can't do that because then the peace process will be derailed. A peace process? There was never a peace process. Oh, then the possibility of a two-state solution will never happen. It was never going to happen. The truth is the opposite. If you stand up to a bully, he respects you more, doesn't hate you more. If we tell the world we are the chosen people, we were here long before you existed, and we will be here long after you stop existing. We're the chosen people. If you want to join and be part of the solution for the world, by all means, we'll teach you. You don't want to join? Fine. You'll disappear one way or the other, and we will still be here. Can we say that to the world? Can we say to the world, you have no idea what God wants. You have no idea who God is. You never heard from God. We did. We can tell you what God said and what he meant, because we know. All our history is defending and protecting every word of Torah, without compromise, without rewriting, without editing, without falsifying. We know what God wants. We know what God said. We know why you exist, and you don't. So put down the guns, put away the bombs. It's time to grow up. Can we say that to the world?
Weren't some of us saying it to the world all along, but only a very small amount of us?
We were saying it to each other. We never said it to the world. It's like, if the world would listen, this is what I would say. But we never said it. We never said it.
Rabbi Friedman, it's just the world is so, right now, seems to be on a cusp. It seems like it can tip in either direction, and that's the scary portion of it. And again, when trying to think about this program, about what evil really is and what is the state of evil right now in the world, and what can evil be at any given time, also caught one of the interviews from Jorgen Peterson, pretty smart man, who was talking about a book called Ordinary Men. Ordinary Men is a book about during World War II, Polish police officers, middle-aged guys were sent to Germany. They were normal guys. They were not anything. They were just regular family men, policemen. And when they came to Germany, after a few months, they became Nazis. And very easily, even though this is not something that they were to begin with, they were very easily killing pregnant, naked women in the middle of the field. And this is what this book is about. So this is, it seems like evil is so overpowering, and it can just take over at any given second, as we've just witnessed on October 7th. I mean, I'm sure, and it's not like it took over and it stopped. It keeps on going. We see it all over Europe. That's evil. Maybe not, with a knife in the hand or a gun in the hand, but it's still evil. The thinking is still evil. And if this is something that could happen to an ordinary person can be tipped so easily. I think this is basically the biggest fear that we as Jewish people have right now. Because if we're for the good, and evil is so easily to come by or take over, I think it's a good reason to be scared.
Oh, we have plenty of good reasons to be scared if we want to find them. But first of all, we got to recognize the Polish people who went to Germany and became Nazis. It didn't happen overnight. Anti-Semitism was alive and well in Poland before Nazis. It came from Christianity. Jews were the bad guys for 2,000 years already. It wasn't new. It wasn't sudden. So religious anti-Semitism came before Nazis. It is true that it's so easy to be bad. But it must be also true that it's even easier to be good. Because good is more convincing, good is more powerful, good is true. Evil is false. If you can convince people of falsehood easily, then you can convince them of the truth even more easily. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth. What are you afraid of? Who can resist the truth? Only people who are brain dead. And we can't talk to them anyway. Now, the truth is much more powerful. People will slide into evil. But when they're exposed to goodness and truth, they will fly. They will rise into it. Big difference. When you rise to something, you believe in it. When you slide into something, you're just taking the easy path.
Rabbi Friedman, but evil is so much easier detected than the good, because I mean, even in the commandments, do not kill, do not steal, do not commit adultery. Okay, those things are so apparent. Somebody kills somebody, the person is dead. We know what happened. Now, um, for instance, honor thy parents. Got so many gray areas. But I love you, but I'm doing everything for you, but I'll give up anything for you. Well, you think you're doing, you think you're honoring me. You're not really honoring me. So it's this negativity is so apparent, but the positivity and the goodness is so much more hidden. I mean, how can we bring it out? How can we make it as detectable as the evil?
Say it. Nobody's saying it. Nobody. I don't know other countries exactly what's going on there. I know what's happening in the streets of America. Nobody is saying it. The average teenager has grown up and has never heard the Ten Commandments. No one has ever said to them, "Thou shalt not murder." What was said to them is, if you have to kill somebody, do it carefully so that you can get away with it. Cover it up and call it something else. Then you'll get away with it. That's the reality. It's not that goodness has failed. It has never been tried. Well, at least not in the last 100 years. And when religion preaches the Ten Commandments, it only makes it worse. It's like when the Pope was told about the 9/11 attack. His reaction was, to the press, "We should never kill in the name of God." When somebody told me this, I thought it was a joke, an anti-Catholic joke. Catholics are saying you should never kill in the name of God. God, that's funny. That's funny. So when the church says thou shalt not kill, people look like, are you serious? Who are you to be talking? Right? So who has the authenticity? Who can speak honestly without making a fool of himself? To say you shouldn't kill. The Americans say don't kill civilians. Is this a joke? What did America just do in Afghanistan and in Iraq? What you didn't?
Everywhere, Vietnam, everywhere.
It,
Japan, doesn't matter, everywhere.
yeah, you don't have to go back that far. It was a year ago, and you have the chutzpah to stand there and say don't kill civilians. So, who has moral authority? Not college professors. Not only they don't have authority, they have no leg to stand on. Their arguments are so irrational. They live in a world of make-believe. They have no idea what the world is like. They live in a bubble. So they certainly have no what is it called? Credibility. Religion? Which religion? Politics? Who still has some credibility? The Jewish people. And we're afraid to talk. We're afraid to talk.
Rabbi Friedman, how should we talk? What should we do? I mean, let's say the fear is off. What should be our actions right now as far as I think we just stumped the rabbi.
No, on the contrary, it's what needs to be said is so urgent and so clear and has been urgent for so long. I remember it from the 6-Day War. Why can't you act like the chosen people? God gives you miraculous victory. The whole world is overwhelmed. In 6 days, you defeat 3 armies and you lose only a handful of soldiers. You are the chosen people. What did we say? We had the attention of the whole world. We had the world's microphone. Everyone was listening. Everyone was impressed. Everyone was humbled. And what did we say? Well, we'll give you back whatever we took. What? What did you just do? God made the world recognize that you are the chosen people, and you convinced them that you're not. You acted guilty. Please take it back. I'm sorry. I hurt you. Israel offered to pay for the damages in Jordan. Any house that was damaged will pay for it. Don't you realize what you look like? You're acting like you're guilty. That's not the chosen people. And we did this over and over. And God keeps putting us back in the spotlight, keeps giving us the microphone again and again and again. And what do we say? We have a right to defend ourselves. Even a murderer has the right to defend himself. Don't sound so pathetic. So what needs to happen? We need to tell the world, you don't know morality. You were never taught morality. We do, and we can teach you. So either sit down in the classroom and behave like students, or we'll throw you out, which any good school would do. And say it with confidence and mean it, and then, if necessary, do it. This prolonged war, we've spoken about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
A moral war is a quick war. A prolonged war only comes from immorality. You know you have to destroy Hamas. Why did it take you more than a week? And there are no excuses. There are no excuses. Well, but no, there are no excuses. You said you're going to destroy Hamas. They need to be destroyed. Why does it take more than a week? Because you have no courage of your own convictions. How many times did Israel say, we're going to remove them, we're going to wipe them out till the end, and there will be no ceasefire? So what happened?
Rabbi Friedman, actually, what you're saying is actually the scariest thought that I have about everything. That it's true. The only way we can get the upper hand is to stop compromising. To stop compromising. We know what's right, and we have to stick by it. And there should never be any compromises. That's the only way to get respect. No questions about it. But we're still compromising. And again, the pattern is still there. We get the we get a microphone, we get a stage, and we're still apologizing, and we're still compromising, and we're still unsure. So this is the scariest part. Are we back there again? Are we there again? So that means that we're not ready. And if we're not ready, we know what the outcome is going to be. And that is seriously scary. Is it happening to us again? Because now it's the whole world is against us.
We've been there before. The miracles will happen, no question about it. The sad part is that it's embarrassing. After all these years, after all these experiences, and after all the miracles, we still have to rely on the miracle. We still have to turn to our Father in heaven and say, get us out of here, get us out, get us out. It's fine to be God's children. It's not fine to be childish. We're still behaving childishly. So to put it in simple language, and this is not an exaggeration or a euphemism, the world needs a Zaidi. We have to be the Zaidi to the world. We have to speak to them like a grandfather speaks to grandchildren. Don't ask them what's right or wrong. Tell them what's right or wrong. Not out of anger, not with hatred, but like a Zaidi. I mean, who knows? Who is supposed to know right from wrong if not a Zaidi? With the maturity of a grandfather. That's it. That's the whole story, and everything else is just a distraction. The world was without a grandfather. We are the only grandfathers available. So, act like a grandfather.
Rabbi Friedman, thank you so much. Thank you. Hope the world is listening. Hope the world is coming to proper realizations, because right now we're definitely on the cusp. We're on the cusp when it comes to ourselves, and we're on the cusp when it comes to the rest of the world. And hopefully this is a time for us to make the right decisions, the good decisions. And And thank you so much for pushing us in the right direction, for giving us the clarity, for explaining things as they are, as a Zadie does. Thank you so much, Rabbi Friedman. And on behalf of everybody who's listening, and on behalf of the whole world, for everything that you do on a daily basis for everyone. Thank you so much.
There will be miracles. The bigger the need, the bigger the miracle.
God,
But we gotta grow up too.
God willing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Be well.
You too. Till next week. Thank you.